Hello, Neil Network. Welcome to Break Room Conversations. We have a pretty hot topic today, so I'm going to go ahead and get all my friends in here right now. Talking about. So let me get all my folks in here. Thank you for joining. This is going to be a good one, and we might even be going longer than we normally do because we have a lot here. All right, Tatum, what's up?
Yo,
Yo.
how's it going?
All right, we are waiting for our guest of the hour. Let's see here.
I'm really excited about this topic. We hear so much conversation, chatter on social media, on all channels about pricing and like what's fair, what's accurate, how much, how little, and we don't hear enough about emotional discounting and the real struggle it is as a hairdresser to sort of deal with the business side as an artist and as an empath, someone who connects with others. So I'm really excited about this conversation.
Yeah, we are too. I know ever since we started throwing this out into the universe, it keeps popping up on my feed all about, setting the right price and whatnot. I'm having a little bit of a trouble getting Bella on here, but it is hot right now.
Yeah, and there's a lot of opinions. You know what they say about opinions. But yeah, it's an important topic, and I think now that we really need to realize our potential. We have, we are valuable to this community, to our communities, to our clients. And while I think that people could go too far, more often than not, people don't really actualize what their value is and don't transfer that over to their clients. It's really important. So stay tight. And then I'm excited also to talk a little bit about how we can generate new business, new activity through social media, because we've got some great content that's coming out from our guests. So looking forward to hearing.
Yeah, for sure. So as everyone's joining, just please hold tight. We're getting Bella on here. I mean, Tatum, if you want to go ahead and start talking about social media while we wait for Bella.
Let's see. Hold on. I'm trying to share. Okay, cool.
Stick with us, guys. Stick with us.
Just doing all the things.
There she is.
Yay!
Oh, it's so great to see you.
It's so great to see you.
This is so much fun.
Gosh.
I love breakroom conversations, and only because we do bring like some really hot topics. And this one, I've gotten so many messages about how do I watch this? Where is this going to happen? And so we're really excited to bring this to you guys. And I would love for our guest of the next 15 minutes, if you could please introduce yourself to our audience. Who are you?
Hi. So my name is Isabella. More than likely, I go by Bella. So we all know those long names are shortened for something. So I usually go by Bella, and I am a stylist here at Josephine State Spa Salon in Houston, Texas. I work at both locations as well. Been with Aveda through my whole career. So Aveda Institute in Houston, I actually taught this class there first for the new students, because they do the little extra curricular on Mondays and Thursdays. So the first time I ever taught this class, before kind of going over some things, doing little tweaks to it, I actually taught it to them first. And of course, whenever you're in cosmetology school, you don't really understand why it's so important whenever you're there for like the first day. And then the longer you get into it, you realize, oh yeah, the emotional discounting, that's something that Bella talked about or that someone else brought up. And I really want that to be something that new stylists and old stylists
let's rewind here. So emotional discounting. So that's what we're talking about today, everyone. And everyone, please listen up, because even forever, Tatum. I mean, we've been emotional discounting for forever. There's a lot of people doing it.
Yeah.
We've had this conversation over and over and over again, and it's now like we really have to make a change. So Bella, this, you've created a class around this, which we're going to have up on Neil U right after this break room conversations. And it's a very important topic to you, obviously, because you created this great content for this class. What does emotional discounting mean to you?
Sorry,
cool.
I
I'm
can
here to
talk
help
really
with
fast.
all good.
So emotional discounting is kind of similar to what we know as charge your worth is. A lot of people have talked about charging your worth, but a lot of times whenever I've looked it up and other people have looked it up, it's just charging what you think you're worth. And that's all I really saw. And so emotional discounting gets into the deep and gritty of what does that actually mean, kind of breaking it down into what it means to emotionally discount. So what emotionally discounting is, I mean, it can be a number of things, but to pinpoint exactly what it is, it's when you go and you're either quoting a client or you're going at checkout and you're entering in all your numbers and you look at that number either in that second or after you quote a new client or existing client and you lessen that number for whatever reason, right before they check out, right before they swipe their card, give you cash, you discount it for whatever reason. So the class really gets into why does that happen, what is emotional discounting, and tips and tricks on how to work through how to get over that.
At what point in your career were you like, holy crap, I'm emotional discounting?
Yeah, that's a great question. Like self-awareness, because that's a big word. It sounds like somewhat like my therapist would tell me that. And like, so like, like, let's just be real clear. This is about not charging your worth. This is about having a little self-sticker shock and seeing the price of your service, which is your value. You worked a long time to get there. And you have that sort of knee-jerk reaction of, oh, let me discount. Let me reduce the price of my service, not the value. Let me reduce the price of it because I have this weird emotional thing. I think that most people do that all the time, right? And how did you recognize that you were doing that? What was like, did someone tell you? Did you just like get an accountant and do the math? Did you get a therapist? How did you figure it out? And then that's step one. How did you do something about it? How did you get over the emotional turmoil of charging your worth and owning who you are? Because that had to be a two-step process. And I can't imagine it was like clicking a light switch.
Not at all. Until someone sits you down in the office and you are discounting this person and you're doing it emotionally, it wasn't until that moment that I realized, oh my gosh, this is something that I'm doing. And have to give a little bit of credit to Michelle at Josephine's because she's a stylist that's been here. She's a sister to the owner, and she took time out of her busy day to look at what I was charging people whenever I was new to the floor, took time out of her day to see what I was charging them, and then would tell me, oh, you're discounting. And I always brushed it off because it was that emotional connection to discounting them. It's so hard to break through that. And
yeah, I think a lot of it is like digging deep, and like, and I'm so excited for people to experience your class on NeilU just because it is going to help them really kind of realize like what the process through it and how to break through it, and just digging deep and understanding your worth, and that light bulb, to have that light bulb go off and really to separate yourself from the business. And I saw Isaac made a comment, we're like, spending other people's money for them, but they have their own, everyone has their own sense of urgency around, their self-care and whatnot. So let them decide, but we're professionals. Lawyers don't give us a discount. Doctors don't give us a discount, and they've spent a lot of time and money in their education, and we need to take ourselves a little more seriously. And I know I've had, and this might have happened to you, Bella, I don't know, or Tatum too, there's stylists who complain that they don't make enough money. And we had a a situation where we had to sit her down as well. And we're like, you've given over like $1,000 of discounts this month. Like, hello. So, no, I love that. So I want to ask you, Bella, what helped to build your confidence as a stylist to just be confident around your pricing, around, just this is what it is. Here we go.
So, first off, I'll say so much easier said than done, but to just talk about it. And if you have a bunch of filler words in the beginning, the more that you talk about it, the more that you will get comfortable. And I promise you, the client sitting in your chair would rather you talk about it than have that sticker shock. Whether they've seen you for 20 years, whether it's the first time in your chair, they would much rather have that professional transparency of pricing while they're in your chair rather than when they're about to leave. Because we all know that whenever they're about to leave, that's what they're going to remember most. They will remember whenever they first saw you throughout the service, but once they leave, that's going to be what they mainly think about whenever they're telling their family or family of friends at a party through word of mouth, because we are on this digital age and that's amazing. And it all starts with talking about it too. And there's a lot of times where I don't have time to talk. And whenever someone stops me and I give them my Instagram handle or I give them my phone, I'm like, here it is, follow me. Because that's what all of this is for. But
totally answered the question.
Did that answer the question?
Kim, do you have any feedback on as a stylist too, like what gives you confidence to charge over $100 for a haircut? How did you get there?
Well, I think that part of it is being in a system, honestly, and I'm going to just kind of give some love to, salon owners and businesses. And I never had to go the independent route, and some people thrive in that and a lot of people don't. And this is probably part of it, and so getting a price increase was like a badge of honor. Like it felt great. It was consistent. I liked having a price increase because it had like a status play too, right? So I'm entry level and now I'm this. And so this kind of early moments where your cuts are maybe going from, mid 50s to 60s, 70s, right? Or me in New York, it was like going from like 80s to 100. Those didn't feel like as scary, right? And it felt like a badge of honor. But I feel like as you continue to go up, you start to kind of feel the pressure. And for me, it was that I moved from New York to New Orleans and was still servicing clients at my previous salon in New York. And I was obviously slammed. I did it in reverse. I should have started opening days in New Orleans and built that up instead of just like stop it, going down to 1 week every 6 weeks in New York. That was a mistake, hindsight's 2020. But when I did that, my managers were like, hey, we have to raise your prices because people can't get in. So we have to kind of create a supply and demand situation. And they're like, do you want us to tell your clients that your prices are going up 20%? Or do you want to handle that yourself, or do you want us to, right? And the idea of the front desk person having a serious conversation with my clients, who, as we know, are like friends and family sometimes, right? Not live biologically, but that's the kind of relationships we build, right? I was horrified at the thought of not having the conversation, but still terrified of the idea of having the conversation. So it was like one feels scarier than the other, and that is me not being in control. And so I had the first conversation that day. Hey, not only is it impossible to get in with me, my prices are going up. And I waited to the end of the conversation. Like I did exactly what you said not to do. Bella, because I was scared. Even though I project confidence, I talk about confidence, I was scared. And I had the thing and I say the words, and she's like, okay, cool. And pre-booked, and it was not a thing at all. I'm like, oh, okay. Next one, I had the conversation closer to the beginning. So I got a little bit more confidence by doing it, having the action, saying the words. And you can role play these conversations with your coworkers, your bosses. The brain doesn't really know the difference. You're saying the word, it still counts as practice. Had the first conversation, second conversation, had it earlier, same reaction. They were like, I don't care, whatever, $20, no big deal. Third conversation, exact same reaction. And I said it on the front end. I actually might have said it as I picked her up from the waiting area. Hey, just so you know. Because I doing the work, saying the words, practicing it, I had the confidence after only on the third client. Every single one of my clients gave 0 Fs about me raising my prices, even though I thought it was substantial. So my point being, your clients probably don't care that much. If they do care, you are in a salon, you have a system, you can give them to your coworker that's at a lower price point and know with confidence your coworker's gonna be able to take care of them. That's what really matters, is the client taken care of. If it can't be by me, it's okay if it's someone else in my salon that's gonna give them a similar or comparable service, right? So having the confidence that someone else can pick it up, doing the right thing for your client, and then honestly, it's just the practice, and it's just, but you have to walk through that pain. And I'm sure you had the moments too, and probably still feel it, like the pain of walking through rejection. And is rejection going to happen or not? That's just very human. We all want to avoid rejection. Unfortunately, for our career, you got to walk through that pain.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Yeah.
Is it okay if I bounce off of that really quick? So for confidence and all of that, for me personally, it was taking classes, sticking to them, because as a stylist, that's kind of a backbone, and because you want to not emotionally discount someone, but you also want to charge, don't want to overcharge either. So taking classes and practicing what you're preaching, it can help as your backbone. Different things like a salon experience as well, that's helped us with confidence, because that's something that's inner work that really at the end of the day you have to do yourself. But with having a supportive team around you, that's also a big step in helping build your confidence. Music, if you're a music person like I am, I have a playlist that I listen to on the way to work that's going to empower me. That helps. Another thing with confidence and also kind of working within a client's budget as well, because you're talking about the relationship that you have with the client. If you have a strong relationship with your client, stylist client relationship, and you want to keep them in your chair, and what they're wanting to do isn't within their price budget, then you can kind of backtrack that a little bit, work within their budget. Let's say they want, an easy real life example is a full highlight. Mm-hmm. Maybe let's do a partial highlight and do like 1 or 2 foils around the hairline, to where it's more so in that middle ground or a little bit less than what's going to be in their budget. Yeah. So it's also working with it too. In a team-based salon like I am, I can talk to my coworker and try and lead them over to someone else, but that's also another option. I love that.
Well, y'all, this is definitely going over, and I mean, we could talk and talk, and I really want everyone, we're going to definitely post some links to Neil Yu for Bella's class. It's going to be going live very soon. Yeah. Very soon.
And I'm really excited about it. Yeah. Like we need to, because I think it's a great conversation, and I'm grateful, Steph, for you guys pulling this together, because I think it's exactly what people need. And there's not a lot of brands out there that are doing this type of education. It's really important.
Yeah. And for those that are watching that are struggling with this, the 3 of us have been through this a lot, and we can definitely help push you through it. So it's just really digging deep, like you said, Bella, earlier, just digging deep within and just understanding, your worth and being confident in who you are. Tatum, I know you wanted to ask Bella some questions about her awesome social media presence she's got.
I do, because
it's worth going over time right now. So
that's fine. We're going to go over time. And Bella,
guys.
With your permission, we might clip this out a little bit and use it to promo Social Lab, which I have coming up. But you took part in my class, I believe, was it in Mexico?
No.
In
Mexico. It's all big blur.
Yeah, I think it was.
In Mexico, and we just did a quick reel workshop. And everyone knows that video content, like Instagram, will just, you better do it or not, or like you're going to get screwed over, right? You have to make video content. It seems scary. You took my class and you are creating great content. What is that sort of like, emotional confidence you had to get through to do that? And have you seen any success at all post that class in growing your business from any of those tools?
Oh, most definitely. I have had, at the top of my head, rough estimate, about 6 or 7 clients come to me from social media, from like
That's
taking
great.
the class and everything.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll ask them, hey, how did you find out about us? Most of the time it's reviews or Google or something like that. And one of them said that a blue hair hashtag is how she found me.
It works, guys. It works.
That was exactly, it does. Something just little as that. So that's as many clients that I have, and about out of the 6, I think I have 4 of them pre-booked too. So that's helping build my clientele with that. And the emotional, I guess, side breakthrough of that would be I just started doing it little by little. I don't know if you remember this conversation, but I took your class a while ago. I used to post in 3s, and you were like, just stop doing it. And I was like, how do I stop? Because organization is something that I love, and to like go to my page and look at it, that'd be amazing. But that's just not how social media works. So I just started with one reel or one post, and the more that I did it, the more that it just became quick and like easy math, and it became fun. And some of my reels are just amazing hair and like a little bit of music behind it, and some of it is really thought out and planned as well. So it's really just how much effort you want to put into all of that and what your comfortability level is. And I've had great success with getting new clients and building a clientele from social media. So it's something that I'm definitely going to keep doing. As well.
Yeah, totally. Get the feels here. I love that. I love the idea of getting over the grid. A lot of people, myself included, have perfection paralysis, right? And that's like a huge thing to get over. And so I love hearing that, just kind of, again, walking through the pain of rejection. Is someone going to like this or not? And just doing it really leads to success. I do want to ask just one last question, because I'm just curious and we're on here. So you said hashtag blue hair. Was that client connected to your community in any other way? A friend of a client, lived next door? Like, what were there any other connections besides she was looking for blue hair and she was in your community?
She said that she went on Instagram and searched blue or blue hair, and that's how she found me. She said that she had to scroll for a little bit, and she saw one of my posts, and that's how she found me. She had just moved here, and that's
great.
what it was. Or in Houston, but moved closer to where our salon is, and was looking for a new stylist.
Great, and that's just testament to like engaging with your local community, which I'm sure you're doing, how that pays off. Because when people move to Houston and they're searching for blue hair, that sounds random, but if you're plugging into the community, the algorithm knows that they're also new to the community and probably want a hair service. And so they're going to kind of show people blue hair that's close enough for them to get services with. So keep working on your local engagement, people out there, and just testament, like 6 new clients within a couple months is actually quite a big deal, especially when we're talking about color. Like, that's thousands of dollars of new growth. So congratulations. It's great.
Yes. Well, y'all, thank you. I mean, this has been an amazing episode. And for those that are just kind of hopping on right now, stay tuned to neelyou.com to learn more about emotional discounting. Also check out our education calendar on neil.com for Tatum's social media class that's going to be coming up soon. And we're all about, building the confidence and just bringing our A game all the time. So thank you both so much for joining. And to everyone, we'll see you in about 2 weeks. Bye, y'all. Thank you.
Me.